Okay, in this lesson we want to take a look at how we do input in Turing, so how we get information or data from the keyboard into the computer program that we're running here. And because this is pretty straightforward, we're also going to take a look at some of the types of errors that can crop up when you're writing a computer program. So let's take a look here. We've called this input and errors lesson.t. This illustrates some variations of the get command and the three types of errors. So in this example, we use the name Billy the Kid. So first thing we want to do is we want to declare a variable that we're going to store the name into. So we go var name, and this is a string variable. Okay. Next, we want to prompt the user to enter their name, and then we want to output the response. So the command to get the response is the get command. But before we do that, we're gonna have to write our prompt here. So put please enter your name. Okay. And then I'll put those two dots on there. So what this is going to output, if we run this first, is please enter your name, then the colon, and then it's going to stay on the end of that line. Now we want to read the user's response here. So we do this using the get command here. So if we do get, what get does is it basically stops the program, okay, puts the cursor on the screen where the last output was, waits for the user to input something, and then when the user inputs something and hit enters, it takes whatever the user has typed, retrieves it from that run window, and stores it in a variable. So anytime we use get, we have to get something into a variable. So what we are getting is name. So fortunately we have a variable name that we're going to store the information in. So this is going to get name. And if we want to make sure that we've got it, we are going to sort of do some output of this afterwards. So we'll just put your name is, and then output the person's name using that variable. So let's run this. Please enter your name, and there you can see it stopped the program. The cursor is sitting there flashing, waiting for me to type something. So I'm just going to type in Billy. Okay? It says your name is Billy. So it's read it in, and everything is good. Now, let's say instead of just wanting the first name, I want the person to enter their full name. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it. Prompt enter to user to enter their full name and output the results. So please enter your full name. And at the beginning of the string, I'm going to put a \n and another \n, and that's going to give me a couple of blank spaces in there. So let's run this again, and it says, please enter your name. So I'll put in Billy, and then it says, your name is Billy, a couple of spaces. Please enter your full name. Oh, you want Billy the Kid. It still thinks your name is Billy. And here's the problem. When I put that space in there after the word Billy, it assumes that that space indicates the end of the string that you're inputting. So if what I want it to do is read that entire line that I type, including the spaces, I have to put :* at the end here. Hit F2 to format that. So let's run this again here. Please enter your name. I'll just enter Billy. That's good. Please enter your full name. Billy the Kid. Now that I have that : there, it reads that entire thing, Billy the Kid. And I don't have to do it, : reads the entire line. It could be that I just want the first 7 characters of their name. So if I change that star to a 7, this is going to read only the first 7 characters. So we do Billy the Kid. Remember, this reads everything up to the space, and then enter your full name. Your name is the Kid. Now actually what it's done is it's given us an error here. It read up to Billy, and then it took the Kid, and it sort of held it in a buffer there, waiting for the next get command. And when it went to do another get command, it took the Kid and put it in there, and outputted that as the answer. So if we are going to do this properly here, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do a : here and run this again. Enter your name, Billy the Kid. That'll read the whole string. Your name is Billy the Kid. But this time down here, this is just going to read in the first 7 characters. Billy T, so it only got up to the T in Billy. Okay? Because I said don't read the whole line, only read the first 7 characters. Okay, so this is a good place to then start talking about age types, error types here. There are 3 main types of errors, and I've listed them here. There's what's called a syntax error, which is a problem with the code you have written. Okay? It means that the code is not going to compile. So let's say we're trying to write a program that's going to get the user to enter their age in years, and then it's going to output their age in days. First thing we want to do here is we want to declare a variable. So let's do var age :int. Now let's say I declared this improperly. Instead of :int, I wanted this to be, I forgot how to do it, so I did :integer. If I run this, it gives me an error. And in fact, it doesn't even compile. Remember, compiling is when the program takes the instructions that I've typed in this window and it converts them into stuff that the computer can understand. So it doesn't even convert it into usable instructions here. So but as I talked about earlier, it now highlights where the error is so I can go back and fix it. So this is a syntax error. It's kind of like an error in the grammar of programming that I've written here. The next kind of error that we're going to talk about here is what's called a runtime error. Okay? An execution error. This is what occurs as the program is running. So it can be caused by bad user input, and the result of this is that the program starts to run and then it crashes. So for instance, we want to have this person enter their age here. So we will put enter your age, we've got a prompt there, and we get age in here. So if we run this, and when we run it, instead of entering the age as a number, as an integer, we enter it as a set of words. Let's see what happens. Please enter your name. Okay, this is all this stuff at the beginning, so I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to comment all of this out so that we don't go through all this. So I highlight it, and I do edit, and I do comment range. Okay. So let's run this again here. Enter your age in years. If I type the number 10 here, that's good. Okay. If I run this again and I type the word 10, my program crashes. And down here at the bottom it says invalid integer input. This is because what I typed in there was a string. So the program tried to read a string from that run window and save it in an integer variable, which it can't do. Okay. Same thing would have happened if I typed 20.5, okay, because that's a real that I'm trying to store inside that integer there. The final type of error is what's called a logical error. Now, logical errors are when you get incorrect results due to incorrect instructions that you are programming into your program. These are the hardest ones to find because the program will run just as you expect it to. It'll just give you incorrect results. So these you have to find and debug them yourself. So for instance, here I want to output the person's age in days. So I output you are age divided by 365.5 days old. And let's run this. Enter your age in years. If I'm 10 years old, this says I am 0.027 and so on days old, which is clearly incorrect. If somebody's 10 years old, they're much older than, you know, a fraction of 1 day. And the reason is instead of dividing here, I should have multiplied age by 365. Okay? So I would have to look at my results, see that the program wasn't giving me the results that I wanted, and then change them accordingly. So if I'm 10 years old, I am 3,652 days old. Okay? So those are the 3 types of errors that you're likely going to encounter.